Hey guys, the Franchise Goat here, and welcome to a new game on the channel. We are going to be playing Madden. This is Madden 21, and we're going to start up our franchise mode on Madden 21. We're going to be using the real-life rosters, and yeah, we're going to jump right in. So the team I decided to pick, I wanted to go with a rebuilding team first here, and so I decided on the New York Jets. So in this episode 1, we're just going to look over the roster. I may sign a free agent or two or pull off a trade. I'm not sure yet. But yeah, let's take a look at what we got with the Jets. All right, so let's take a look at the team here first. Not a great team. We're going to have to do some building here. Take a look. So let's start with our backfield. Le'Veon Bell is excellent. I don't see all this. He is 28 years old, though, 87 overall. He's very good running back. The Jets obviously signed in free agency a couple years ago, but obviously we will eventually need to move on from him and find someone new. He's a little older, but for now he is perfectly fine there. The problem is at quarterback, because in this game Sam Darnold has normal development at 73 overall. That's just not going to cut it. So unfortunately, we'll probably play this year with Sam Darnold, and then we're probably going to have to find another quarterback, which is too bad. Because I actually really like Sam Darnold. I think he could be a good player. He just really hasn't gotten the opportunity from the New York Jets yet to really play well. He hasn't had the pieces around him. But in the game, I think we're going to have to move on from Sam Darnold. We'll see how he plays in game. His throw power is just really low, and his accuracy is as well. So we'll see, though. Moving on, fullback is not really something that we're looking too deep into. Wide receivers, I want Jamison Crowder to be my number one. 27 years old, star development. He will get a little better, but he's not great. As you see, we don't really have much at wide receiver. Chris Hogan, I love as a former Patriot, but again, really nothing but normal development and mid-70s. Crowder, a guy I may look to trade eventually. So we'll see how that works out, though. On the offensive line, it is extremely weak. Mekhi Becton is really good. I am big on Mekhi Becton, rookie out of Louisville. 72 overall. He does have hidden development, though. Already high strength, and his blocking's not too bad either. He is going to be a franchise tackle, I believe. We'll see how he develops, though, but he definitely feels like a franchise left tackle for us. You have Alex Lewis, who is 28, is going to start regressing. 72 overall is okay at guard, nothing special. You have Connor McGovern at center. Again, he's okay. He's certainly nothing special, though at 27, he might get a little bit better. We'll have to see with him. And then on the right side of the offensive line is where it's really, really poor. This is where we're going to have to really look at progress. Greg Van Roten, not sure how to say that actually. Shows you how much of an impact he makes in real life. I don't even know his name. He's 30 years old, though. At 68 overall, that's just not going to cut it. We're going to have to get better there. As we are going to have to with George Fant, who is 28 years old at 68. So we don't even really have anyone young on the O-line with the exception of Mekhi Becton. Tight end, I actually like Chris Herndon a little bit. He's 24. Definitely could get better. The normal development hurts a little bit, though. He is a good pass catcher, high speed. But again, we really don't have a ton here. Is this Ryan Griffin? It is. Yeah, he's old. Really old out of Connecticut. He's not going to factor into the future. We'll see what happens with Chris Herndon, but I don't really think he factors that much into our future. So we have a lot of building to do offensively. Jamison Crowder, definitely a guy who I'm going to look to trade before the season starts, maybe for picks or something else. We'll see. On the defensive side of the ball, they have a couple guys who I really like. Quinnen Williams is a beast. Right end out of Alabama, 78 overall with star development. He will definitely get better, and he definitely factors into our future. Guy who gets good pass rush, really strong and pretty fast for the position. I really like Quinnen Williams. Definitely going to keep him around for a significant amount of time. Steve McClendon is good, but he's really old. 34 years old. He is going to start regressing now if he hasn't already. He is definitely going to start regressing. He's not a bad player at D tackle, but this is, again, somewhere where we're going to have to try and find someone new. Henry Anderson, rather. He's another guy who's a little older, 76 overall, which isn't bad, but he's 29 years old, which means he is going to regress. Besides Quinnen Williams, we need some work on the defensive line. I'm not sure if I want to keep this team in a 3-4 or not. For the moment, I think we're okay, but we'll have to see. I'm noticing that. I'm noticing that CJ Mosley's not here, so I'm actually going to take a look at that. Because I know he's opted out for the year, but I want to make sure that he's actually going to be here next year. So yeah, CJ Mosley is out for the year. They gave him an injury, which is fine. He's not going to be playing in real life, so we'll have to deal without him here. Let's see what we got at linebacker. Looks pretty weak. Again, Jordan Jenkins. He's not super old, but he's not super good either. Run stopping outside linebacker. Again, a guy, I sound like a broken record, but we're going to have to improve there. Neville Hewitt at middle linebacker is not going to do it at all. 65 overall. Definitely need improvements there at middle linebacker. I do like Avery Williamson. He's a really good player. The problem is he's 28, and in Madden, you start to regress when you turn 27 or 28. So even though he's a great player, I don't know if we're going to be able to have him in the future of this team. He might be a guy who has to get traded. Terrell Basham I do like, 26 years old out of Ohio. I think we're going to let him play at least for this year and see what we can get out of him. He's a decent player, not too old. Decent speed, decent acceleration. Not much of a pass rusher at outside linebacker. But we'll see what we can get out of him. In the secondary, we have an interesting situation. Pierre Desir is 29. He's been a good player, good slot corner. He is going to regress. He's another guy who I might look to trade here right away. But we'll have to wait and see on him. But he definitely doesn't factor into the future. He's just too old. 29, they're going to start regressing in Madden. Let's see what else we got. Blessian Austin. He's out of Rutgers. Rutgers corners can be good. Just look at the Patriots. He is 24, though, which is good. He's a guy who I want to take a look at, definitely. Decent man, good zone coverage, high speed. He's a guy who I want to look at. 73 overall, does have the normal development, but definitely a guy who we need to take a look at. So this is Brian Poole. He is a guy who I think factors in, at least for the next couple years. He's 27. In his fourth year out of Florida. Good cover corner, high speed. Definitely a guy who we can use. He's listed here as a slot, but he can play on the boundary if he needs to. So corner isn't super weak, but it's not really that strong either. Quincy Wilson is another 24-year-old with normal development at 73. So another guy we'll see. This team has so many slot corners. My goodness. Yeah, he's not a great cover guy. So corner, again, we have okay players, but they're older. They're going to regress. We need to get younger and better at that position. Looking at the other parts of the secondary, Bradley McDougald is story of the team, right? 76 overall, which is certainly not bad, but he is 29. He is going to regress, normal development. So a guy I may look to move, and a guy we definitely need to think about moving on from. Probably in the near future, with him being that old. At strong safety, we have Marcus May, 27 years old. He can probably hang for 2 years at that overall or near that overall. He does have the star development, so he may go up a tiny bit. He is a pretty well-rounded player, I believe. Yeah, they have him pretty well-rounded. He's not a pass rusher at all, but he's a strong safety. Decent cover. Actually, pretty good zone coverage. Pretty high speed. Hits hard. So he's a guy who we could definitely keep around. He's not super old at 27, but he probably doesn't have that many good years left in Madden. Special teams-wise, kicker, we have Sam Ficken, who is nothing special. He's not very good, not accurate at all. but it's kicker, so I don't really care that much. Braden Mann is a star or better development punter, which is interesting. You don't always see them. 95 kick power is fun, though. He's going to be fun to play with. But yeah, so that's the roster for the moment. We have, is that Braxton Berrios? It is Braxton Berrios. We have him returning kicks, which is fine. He's high overall at it. So let's generate this best lineup and see what they do to us. Oh, now we have Jameson Crowder and is this Ashton Davis? Ashton Davis? Maybe. I don't really know. But they're returning kicks. Defensively, we did have guys. Okay. Interesting. So we had a couple guys missing there. That's what I thought. But yeah, Damon Harrison. I totally forgot he was on the Jets. He's so good, but he's so old. He's a trade piece. Definitely want to look to trade him. As with McClendon. I think everyone else we saw. Patrick Owasu. He's so old. Everyone on this team is like 27 to 29. They're decent overall, but they're going to regress in Madden. So I think I'm going to try. Is Blake Cashman? Yeah. I don't mind him. He's actually a decent player. Might see how he develops. But I definitely am going to have to try and find some trading spots here and see if we can trade any of these guys. Oh, we have Frank Gore. That's interesting. Didn't know we had Frank Gore. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to try and trade a couple of these guys before the season starts. And I'm going to go look for trades and free agents, and I'll get back to you guys when I find something. All right, so just real quick, I know this is kind of inconsequential, but just to improve our kicker, I am going to sign Aldrick Rosas, star development, 25 years old, 75 overall. Definitely an improvement. I just like to have a kicker with decently high accuracy in-game. So we're going to sign Rosas. He's a pretty good kicker. All right, so making a trade here with the Atlanta Falcons. We're sending Damon Harrison Sr. And Chiume Adoga, I think is his name. He's a 66 overall right tackle. He is quite young, but we're going to need better. He's not going to develop into much. And we're getting a first-round pick from the Falcons, who are usually one of the worst teams in simulation. So I think this is a good trade. I think I'm going to probably try and make one more before we jump into... before we end this video. All right, so last trade here of preseason. We are sending Pierre Desir and Felicity Fatukasi. These names are kind of ridiculous, but we're sending them to the to the Las Vegas Raiders for their first-round pick, projected 23rd overall. So loading up on first-round picks, hopefully to aid us in the draft. So after our trades, the offense really doesn't change. Actually, the offense doesn't change at all. Defensively, obviously, Pierre Desir no longer here. Same with Damon Harrison. McClendon, a guy I might look to trade in the middle of the year. So our defense gets a little bit worse, but I think we're adding in the long run. And of course, we have Aldrick Rosas now, who's a much better kicker. Specialists, I am going to leave it because usually, despite the fact that I don't always agree with the computer selections, usually they put in the best ones, all things considered. All right, so for our training, I'm going to give it to... So Mekhi Becton, obviously, I want to get him some training so we can increase his overall. Also, Quinnen Williams, who I believe is a future star on this team. And then we'll give one to Sam Darnold for now just to see if he can develop into anything. So yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. In episode number 2, which will be the next one, we will play week 1 against the Buffalo Bills. I can't imagine we're going to win that game, but yeah, we will jump right in. Also, we will hopefully... we might make another trade. I'm not really sure yet. I want to get rid of McClendon, our defensive tackle, who's in his 30s. But we'll see what happens next week. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in episode number 2. Take care.